Hey guys, what's up? I'm just going to cover John chapter 13. And I might have covered this before, but I'm actually going to try and give you guys like a different interpretation of this, or just like another thing to take out of this that you might not have taken out from it before. So, yeah, this is during the Passover feast, and Jesus with the disciples, he's eating, and he knows his time is near. And so, what he does is that all of a sudden, spontaneously, really, he brings out a towel and a basin, like a washing basin, to wash his disciples' feet. And he just goes around and he just washes all of them and he dries all of them. You know, it's a really kind act of courtesy. So he comes to Peter and he's like, Lord, you gonna wash my feet? And Jesus is like, hey, you don't know what I'm doing, but later you'll understand. And Peter's like, no, why are you washing my feet, right? Like, don't wash my feet, right? Like, you shall never wash my feet. And Jesus says, unless I wash you, you have no part with me. Then, Lord, Simon Peter replied, not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well. Jesus answered, those who have had a bath only need to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean, and you are clean, though not every one of you. Right? And then he just goes on and goes on and goes on. Right? And then he also sets an example that I wash your feet, you should wash another's feet. Right? Like, don't you understand what I've done for you, etc., etc. Right? But here, he says, verily, truly, I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. I think one important lesson to take from this is that leadership always means service. I think a lot of leaders in our lives have forgotten that. And I think that if you have a big position of leadership, that you should always be humble and that you should always understand that the best form of leadership is serving others and actually leading through service and not just being full of yourself, not just trying to be a leader because you want fame or because you want reputation or because you want to fuel your arrogance or your ego. And Jesus really puts on an extremely good example. He is the leader of these 12 disciples who are so loyal to him, fiercely loyal to him. Jesus is this perfect man who is objectively pretty much the best man, like living being who has ever walked on this earth, just because he is completely sinless. And yet, what does he do? He gets down on their level and actually washes their feet, which is something that really a servant would be doing, right? But he chooses to serve them. He's almost like a leader and yet their spiritual servant by saving them from sin and from death. Amen, man. That's some crazy stuff, but he really does set a good example here. So, hey, I thought maybe I'd point that out. But yeah, God bless.